One of the major things that I did not have in my business, I'm ashamed to say it. I am so ashamed. I didn't have any systems in my business. Any systems in my business. Listen, we didn't get any systems in my business until 2022. I know you're like, what in the world? So we did have systems, but they were all in my head. None of them were like on paper, on video, or anywhere. So when I say that 2022 was brutal, it was brutal with a capital B. And it was because while building my business, while marketing my business and doing all the things that come along with servicing clients, we also had to build an entire business of systems. Welcome back to another episode of the Keenya Kelly podcast. And we are in a series of the top 10 things every entrepreneur needs to do this year. And this is part number 4. So if you missed all the other ones, then this is number 4. I'm laughing, but I am not laughing because it was not funny that this year or last year was when we started creating systems in my business. Now, I had someone tell me that they would do the systems for me for $30,000. And I was like, wait a minute. I said, I'm going to pay them $30,000, but I still have to be involved. That means I might as well just do it myself because I'm like, ain't no way I'm going to pay you 30 grand and I still got to do all this work. You just need to be able to come and do brain surgery and get this stuff out of me because like, otherwise we ain't paying you nothing. Okay. In the words of Kanye, you can't tell me nothing. And so we decided to go down this journey of if we were going to build a successful business, then we had to create systems and processes. I had never heard of the word SOP until the end of 2021, standard operating procedures. I know it sounds crazy, but when you are an entrepreneur, a visionary, you just go. It wasn't until I hired a high performance business coach and she was all about the systems. And I was like, that's me staring into blank space. I was like, what is happening? But I decided that it was time for me to hire someone to help me with my systems. Now, the beautiful thing about this is that part 1 of this series, I talked about hiring a part-time assistant, was before I hired an assistant, I actually was looking for someone full-time, but I said, let me see if I can find someone who is a full-time assistant that I can also have them help me with my systems. Because I just didn't know what I didn't know what I didn't know, And so when I posted a job for someone to help me with systems, I posted a job on Upwork, which I talked a little bit about this on episode 1. And I said I needed a virtual assistant. Here were the hours I needed during, PST hours, like California hours. Here was the hourly rate, the hourly range. And I need someone that not only knows Slack, ClickUp and all that type of stuff, but this person knows how to create standard operating procedures. And I had my business coach show me what her SOPs look like. And I was like, okay. And so when people responded to the job, I said, well, let me see a sample of your previous SOP. And most of them said, well, I can't show you one because it's confidential. And I said, I get it. What if I pay you an hour and here is a video? I want you to take this video of me teaching about this process, and I want you to turn it into a standard operating procedure. And when Adora sent hers back, I was like, what is this? I was like, I don't even know what this is, but this is beyond amazing. And so I remember giving her another task and I said, can you turn what you did as this SOP into like a, what do you call those? A graph, because I'm like, sometimes I need pictures because my mind works in pictures. And I was like, can you turn this into a graph? And when I watched the graph come back, I was like, who is this woman? Hoppo. Who this woman? You ever seen the movie Color Purple? That's how I kind of felt with my assistant, but she, beyond amazing. She may not listen to this, but she just beyond amazing. And she has transformed my entire life, my entire business. Was it hard? Yes, it was hard for me. It was hard for her. It was hard for every person involved. But the other day we were bringing on a part-time assistant to assist her. And instead of us having to like record a bunch of new videos, it was like, no, here's the link to this, and this. Have her watch all these things to get her, understanding of what's going on and what her job is going to be. When I just saw the doc, I was just like, this is why 2021 was so important and why all of 2022 was so important, so that what was happening in 23, what could happen in 23 is a lot faster success because we're not stunted by not having the processes and procedures and all that type of stuff. Does that make sense? So if you're going to make the most money in your business, have the most success in your business, to be able to have people on your team who know their job and can do their job every single day without it constantly changing, you're going to have to hire someone to help you with your systems. You can get an online business manager. You can get an assistant who knows how to create standard operating procedures. But listen, you still are going to have to get everything out of your head. That person is not going to be able to know what you're thinking, know what you do, how you do. It's going to be a process. And every time you're walking through a launch or a new funnel or whatever it is, you're going to have to walk with your team, the person that's going to be creating SOPs for you, so that it's the greatest experience, so they can do it once and not have to always do it over and over and over again. But I promise you this, if you take that time, you're going to be so thankful that you did. It's going to be challenging. It's going to be a lot of work on top of what else you already got going on. But I promise you this, if we look at some of the most successful people, most successful businesses, these businesses have systems. To listen to the Keenya Kelly podcast, just visit any podcast player out there, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher. We are everywhere.